Back to another episode of Ins and Outs. I'm your host, again, Mina Masood. Today we'll be covering chapters 11 to 15 from the book of Genesis. Now, for those of you who don't know how this works, we have 5 categories. Each category has 5 different point levels, and we have 3 lovely contestants. So, before we introduce the categories, we'll introduce our contestants. So, we're going to start off with Rami. How are you today, Rami?
Very good, and yourself?
I'm very good. Now, you spelled your name with what looks to be a backwards exclamation mark. Is that because you say your name like Rami or anything like that? Or is
it's weird. It's an I.
Oh, it's an I.
It's a letter I. It's weird.
Oh, it's weird. Okay, so it's still Rami.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, very good. And next up we have Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I can see you're a fan of Batman.
Yes.
That's very good. Who's your favorite character in Batman?
Batman.
All right. Well, that's very creative. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And last up, we have Martha. Nice to have you on, Martha. All right. Now we're going to introduce our categories. So our 5 categories are As Old as It Gets, Follow This Family, Without Father, Without Mother, Wife or Sister, and The Covenant. All right, so before we started the episode, we randomly picked who was going to start for us, and Rami was the lucky person. So Rami, go ahead, pick your category and point level.
Sure, I'll take As Old as It Gets for 100.
As Old as It Gets for 100. It was invented for the first time in man's history to replace the stone. And it looks like it's going to be that kind of show. No, I'm kidding. The answer is, what was the brick? What was the brick? So we still add 0, everyone. All right, so Rami, please take us to our next category.
As Old as It Gets for 300.
As Old as It Gets for 300. The city got its name after the Lord confused men's language. All right, Rami, go ahead.
What is Babel?
What is Babel? That is correct for 300. All right, Rami, keep going.
As Old as It Gets for 400.
As Old as It Gets for 400. It is easy now to know that our father Abram was the descendant of whom? Noah's son is a hint. All right, Kenny.
Who is Arphaxad?
Who is Arphaxad? No, that is incorrect. Now, if you'd like to steal, you can steal, but if you get it wrong, you get the points deducted. If you get it right, you get the points added on. So, would anyone like to steal? Martha?
Who is Shem?
Who is Shem? That is correct. All right, so that was for 400 points. Martha, next category.
Follow this family for 100.
Follow this family for 100. Nahor's wife was called this name, which means queen in English. All right, Rami.
Who is Milcah?
Who is Milcah? That is correct for 100 points. Rami, go ahead.
Follow this family for 300.
Follow this family for 300. Although he called him brother, Lot was not. He was this to our father Abram. All right, Martha.
What was his nephew?
What was his nephew? That is correct, Martha, for 300 points. All right. And Martha, go ahead.
Follow this family 200.
Follow this family for 200. Terah, with his family, left this 2-lettered country to go to Canaan. All right, Kenny.
What is Ur?
What is Ur? That is correct for 200 points. All right. Next category, Kenny.
Could I have follow this family for 400?
Follow this family for 400. Yes, you may. Our father Abram built this to the Lord when he appeared to him. Don't you wish you'd do the same? All right, Kenny.
What is an altar?
Oh, that was out of line, Kenny. I believe it was Martha's going to answer. Martha?
What is an altar?
What is an altar? That is a correct answer. So we'll be moving on. All right, Martha?
Follow this family 500.
Follow this family for 500. All right, here we go. The last question of the category. Our father Abram didn't go to Egypt for a family vacation, but to flee this natural disaster. right, Martha.
What is a famine?
What is a famine? That is correct. All right, so we are out of follow this family. Martha, we're going to move on to another category.
As old as it gets for 200?
As old as it gets for 200. All right. They built it to flee the flood if it happened again. All right, Kenny.
What is a tower?
What is a tower? That is correct. All right, for 200 right there. And right before we continue, just want to get an updated score, see how our contestants are doing. Rami is 400 points. Kenny, you have also 400 points. And Martha's at 1,600 points. So she has quadrupled both of your scores. All right? We have a little work cut out for you, but you never know. Yes. All right. Martha, I believe, go ahead, pick our next category. No, it was Kenny. It was Kenny. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
Could I have as old as it gets for 500?
As old as it gets for 500. Lot's father died earlier than this father, Terah. Than his father, Terah. All right, Rami.
Who is Haran?
Who is Haran? That is correct for 500 points. All right. All right, Rami, we still have 3 categories that are untouched. Which one would you like to go to?
Without father, without mother, 300.
Without father, without mother, 300. Melchizedek was the only priest in the Old Testament to have this offering. All right, Kenny.
What is bread and wine?
What is bread and wine? That is correct for 300 points. Kenny, next category, please.
Can we have without father, without mother for 100, please?
Without father, without mother, 100. 4 kings against this many kings. This was the number of kings in the battle when Lot was taken as a war prisoner. All right, Kenny again.
What is 12 kings?
What is 12 kings? That is incorrect. Stealing is an option right now. All right, Rami.
What is 3?
What is 3? That is incorrect as well. Martha will not take a stab at it. So the answer is, what are 5 kings? 5 is the answer. All right, so Rami, go ahead.
Wife or sister, 200, please.
Wife or sister for 200. Sarah was not actually a sister, but this. Kenny.
A wife. What is a wife?
What is a wife? What is a wife? That is incorrect. Stealing is an option right now, if anyone would like to steal. No, we will not be stealing. The correct answer is, what is a stepsister? That is the correct answer. Rami, your turn again. Go ahead.
Without father, without mother, for 200.
Without father, without mother for 200, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a twofold. Now, for those of you who don't know how this works, a twofold is an opportunity for whoever got the answer, so in this case, Rami. He can wager as many points as he wants, up to the total that he has, and if he gets it correct, he doubles his points. If he gets it incorrect, he gets those points taken off. So before you see the question, you're going to have to wager an amount. Please write it down, what you'd like to wager. All right. So, yes, and show us the question, please. The writer of the Hebrew epistle described him as he was without father, without mother, without genealogy.
Who is Abram?
Who is Abram? That is incorrect, and obviously, because that's why you were laughing. So, the answer is, who was Melchizedek? So, how much did you wager? 100 points. He wagered 100 points, so he'll be getting that deducted from his score. Rami, go ahead again. It's your turn to pick.
The Covenant for 200, please.
The Covenant for 200 points. It was known to our father Abram that his people shall be enslaved in this country for 400 years. Kenny, go ahead.
Where is Egypt?
Where is Egypt? That is... Well, we're going to have to go to our judges on this one, and they say it's correct. It's correct. What was Egypt? Okay. All right, so that's correct for 200 points, Kenny. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
Could I have wife or sister for 100, please?
Wife or sister for 100. There is nothing like a white lie. Our father Abram asked Sarah to claim that she is not his wife, but this. Kenny, go ahead.
What is a wife?
What is a wife? That is incorrect.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone like to
Go
steal?
ahead.
All right, Rami.
What was his sister?
What was his sister? All right.
Oh.
Very good for 100 points.
Sorry.
All right, Rami, go ahead.
Wife or a sister for 300.
Wife or sister for 300 points. Here we go. Although it was huge, this could not take them together, Abram and Lot. Kenny,
What is the land?
what is the land? That is correct. All right, and yes, we'd like a quick score check before we move on. We only have about half the questions left, if not less. So, Rami, you're at 700 points. Kenny, you're at 800 points. And Martha, you're at 1,600 points still. So it hasn't changed that much. And before we move on, we're going to take a commercial break and continue this excellent game of ins and outs. All right, we're back from commercial break here on Ins and Outs. Our three contestants, Rami, Kenny, and Martha, have been playing an excellent game of Ins and Outs, and now we're going to continue. We have a few questions left. So we did stop at Kenny, I believe. So Kenny, go ahead, next category.
Could I please have without father, without mother for 400?
Without father, without mother for 400. Oh. There we go. We have the two-fold, so you know the drill. Go ahead. Write how much you'd like to wager. So Kenny right now sits at 800 points now since the last question, so he can wager up to 800. All right. When Melchizedek met him after he came back from war, our father Abram gave him this percentage of everything he had.
What is 100%?
What is 100%? That is incorrect, unfortunately. So what was the 10th? And how much did you wager?
700.
700 points.
You'll
So big blow, but hopefully he'll be able to come back from that devastating answer. All right, another category, please, Kenny. Go ahead.
Without father, without mother for 500.
Without father, without mother for 500, the last question of the category. The number of Abram's servants who went with him to save Lot from captivity was the same of those who met in the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
What is 318?
What is 318? That is correct. Here we go. Yes. So that's 500 points. That almost brings you back from that other devastating two-fold loss. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Can I have the covenant for 100, please?
The covenant for 100 points. Our father Abram was concerned that this man would be his heir. All right. Martha, go ahead.
Who is Eliezer of Damascus?
All right, that is correct for 100 points. All right, Rami, are you okay? You doing well? All right, just checking up
good.
on you, buddy.
No, I'm proud of her. She got that. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, that's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Martha, go ahead.
The covenant for 300 points, please.
The covenant for 300 points. All right. Whether or not you like geography, these two rivers were mentioned in the 15th chapter of the book of Genesis. 15th book. The 15th chapter of the book of Genesis. Kenny, go ahead. For 300 points.
What are the Euphrates and the Nile?
All right, that is correct. We have the Euphrates and the River of Egypt. So, yes, the Nile. All right, so here we go. Next category.
Could I have wife or a sister, please, for 400?
Wife or a sister for 400. Here we go. In his eyes, the land of Jordan was like the garden of the Lord, and like the land of this country. Go ahead, name it. We will not call you arrogant, but proud. Kenny, go ahead.
Like Egypt. What is like Egypt?
What is like Egypt? All right, that is correct. What was the land of Egypt? Judges will give that to you. All right, Kenny, go ahead. Catching up, 1,300 points. Martha's at 1,700, and Rami has been disappearing with 700 points. Go ahead, Kenny.
Could I please have wife or a sister for 500?
Wife or a sister for 500? Yes, you may. If anyone could count this, then your offspring could be counted. This was God's promise to our father Abram. All right, Rami.
What is dust?
What is dust? That is correct. All right, for 500. So that puts Rami back in the game as well. All right, Rami, go ahead. 2 questions left.
The covenant for 400, please.
The covenant for 400. Here we go. To finalize his covenant with our father Abraham, the Lord asked for a heifer, a goat, a ram, along with these birds. All right, Kenny, go ahead.
What is a turtle dove and a young pigeon?
What is a turtle dove and a young pigeon? Congratulations, that's worth 400 points. And we're back to the last question, the covenant for 500. Here we go. The Lord promised our father Abraham that his offspring would be as much as dust on earth and these in heavens. All right, Rami, go ahead.
What are the stars?
What are the stars? That is correct for 500 points. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tight game. Rami, Kenny, and Martha are all tied at 1,700. So as you know how this game works, we go into our final category, and after this commercial break. But before we go on commercial break, the final category is priesthood. So when we come back, we will decide who the winner of this episode of Ins and Outs will be. All right, and welcome back after that lovely commercial break to Ins and Outs. All right, so before we left commercial break, we found out the exciting news that all 3 contestants are tied at 1,700. Rami was one of which came back from a very low score, so we're all now tied. Exciting game here. So we introduced the category, it was priesthood. And now we have the question, but before we see the question, please, ladies and gentlemen, you can now wager what you'd like to put your points on. So you can all put as much as 1,700. So please, I'll give you a second to do that. Kenny's doing some math, calculating his amount. All right, you have, yep, all right, good. And now we see the question. It's a long one, so please. Therefore, if perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise according to the order of Melchizedek and not be called according to the order of him? That is from Hebrew chapter 7, verse 7. The writer of the Hebrew epistle was referring to this priest who played a great role during the Exodus. So please write on your papers the answer to that question. You can have a minute to reread it over again and write on the other side or the same side, the other side, the answer of your question. Here you go, Rami. Let's see. You know what? Let's see your answer first.
Are you sure?
Well, yes. It doesn't matter. You're going to show us both.
All right.
Let's see your answer.
So they're on the same thing.
Okay, all right. So?
Who is Aaron for 500?
Who is Aaron for 500? And Kenny?
I had who is Moses?
For how much?
1,700. The whole
For
bank.
all your points. You did that earlier today. Yeah. Well, almost.
All or nothing.
All right. And Martha?
Yeah, mine's a guess. I said, who is Shem for 100?
Who is Shem for 100? All right. Well, if none of you get this correctly, it looks like Martha is going to take it. And the answer is Rami. Who is Aaron? And he bid how much?
500.
500. All right. So who is Rami? So congratulations to Rami. And our final point score is Rami has 2,200. Kenny, of course, lost all his points and sits at 0. And Martha comes in second place with 1,600. So the winner is Rami. So congratulations, Rami. All right, and that concludes our episode of Ins and Outs. Make sure to tune in next time where we explore Genesis chapter 16 to 20. So read in your Bible so you can participate from your seat at home. Thank you for tuning in.